What is going on, women's wrestling fans, and welcome to the first ever Women Can Wrestle podcast, where we talk about all things women's wrestling. Today is our first episode, so it is a very special episode for us. We kind of found this spark between each other as far as women's wrestling is concerned. We decided to bring you guys the Women's Wrestling Podcast. My name is RJ, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, my very good friends, Jess and Wade. What's going on, guys?
What's up? I have no voice for Mania. I'm sorry.
You guys were actually in attendance for WrestleMania 37. We know you were there, Jess, because we heard you.
I go down in history now as the woo girl in the Rhea Ripley championship match. Yep. And I'm so happy to be a part of her history in that way. I can't even tell you.
See, Rhea is lucky to have a fan like you, because we heard you through like everything. We heard the woo, Rhea.
Let's go, Rhea. I literally cannot talk right now. It's hard.
When we heard you, we ran to the chat. We was like, yo, is that Jess? We heard you.
We rewatched it when we got back to the hotel, and I was like, oh my God, it is me. I was mortified, like terrified. I was like, oh my God, I hate that.
It was great. I thought it was a great experience.
I love it.
Mike picked it up.
You're a part of WrestleMania history now, so it is what it is. You are WrestleMania history.
I'll take it.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There was a lot of women's wrestling going on this weekend. So I guess we will start with let's start with the women's tag team championship. No, let's start with Toni Storm and Zoe Stark. I didn't get a chance to watch this match, but did either of you get a chance to check this one out?
I did. It was a very paint by numbers match with a surprising result. I didn't think that Toni Storm would take the L, especially being on the pre-show, but she just took an L to Io Shirai in the NXT Women's Title match about 2 weeks ago. So it's very surprising to see. But they're really pushing Zoe Stark. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to see a little bit more out of her. I know we got a few like vignettes explaining where she came from and her background. Yeah. I just felt her gear is like super generic. Yeah. And so is her theme. Her theme is like, they took it from WWE 2K, and it's generic theme number 1, and they were just like, "Yeah, that's it. That's your theme. Stick with it."
Or like the default costume they give you in 2K for women.
Exactly.
Yeah, like,
she literally came out her first night, and it was literally just like a top and little shorts, and it was so basic. It was like pink or something like that, and I was just like, "Who is this girl?" Like, and now like Toni Storm is jobbing out to her, and I don't understand it at all. Yeah. But
didn't she lose to a roll-up too? I think I saw she went for the eye of the tiger.
Storm Zero.
Eye of the Storm. I don't know why I was gonna say that. Storm Zero, and then I guess she reversed it into a roll-up and won. I don't know. So on a scale like 1 to 5, what did you think of the match? Was it like, did it hit or not?
I want to be fair. The only reason I'm giving it a 3 is because Toni Storm was involved.
No.
So nothing eventful.
Nothing eventful.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on then. So let's talk about the women's tag team championship match for a second. I know you guys didn't see it, but Ember Moon actually forgot her title after they got off of the Shotzi's tank, and it just was funny to me.
I don't get it.
It's bad, man. It is so bad that happened. And usually we give Shotzi so much crap.
No, you give Shotzi. So I love Shotzi. I am a Shotzi Blackheart stan in the ring. Her COVID decision's not my favorite. I will not lie. Yeah. But I think that her tag team matchup with Ember has helped her so much. And now she's helping Ember when Ember forgets her tag title. They're just really helping each other. And I'm here for it. I love them. Their vibes together. I love this whole like post-apocalyptic horror tag team. I'm here for it. I know that, Candace and Indy lost, but I was happy. I like them with the titles.
I honestly said going into this match, these are the one titles that could play hot potato for a little bit, because you have so many women within the division and you're building different tag teams. It wouldn't hurt to have Candace and Indy carry them, but I understand the decision now because Shotzi and Ember are a more, I don't want to say polished, but more over team. Mm-hmm. So you're going to let the more over team keep the belt. Shotzi, the only thing I will critique on her is that dive. Oh I literally Cover my eyes. It's like the Biggie thing all over again. Like, dude, why? Like she overshot it, and I think she hit her head. I think she hit her head against the.
She hits her head every other time she dives.
Yeah,
she does.
She has to support 3 people.
She folds up like she'll literally always hit head first, and then her legs will follow.
Yeah, she definitely overshot that dive. I remember. I couldn't look when she flipped over. I knew it was going to be bad. I felt like she landed in between both of them. Like she didn't even hit them. It was that bad. But I think, Jess, you described, what do you say? You said post-apocalyptic horror.
Yeah,
that is the perfect word, because I didn't understand their thing until you said it, and then it just clicked. So now that I'm thinking about the post-apocalyptic horror like vibe, I see why they mesh well together, because before Ember Moon was like what, vampire, moon goddess, werewolf princess, something.
She was a werewolf princess. That was her whole thing.
Okay, yeah, and I get it now. That makes sense. Yeah, I like the match though. I felt like they did an effective job of doing heel versus face, kind of good versus evil kind of thing. I definitely feel like they played to the crowd a lot better than I thought they would, as far as like Shotzi and Ember are concerned. I enjoyed the tag team match for sure.
Oh, I definitely did too. I felt it was a very solid match from beginning to end. And I want to give like a shout out to who actually booked the match and put it together. The crazy thing Triple H said in the conference call that Candice was the one that put that entire match together.
Oh, wow.
Really?
He has gone on record saying, and I know this is a women's podcast.
Yeah.
He said that the people that have been helping him put matches together, or helping the other talent put their matches together, are like Ciampa and Gargano, and Candice LeRae's helping with the women. So it's like crazy to see how these matches are getting built and put together in such quick time. And Candice is a vet, so she really stepped up. Even in a loss, she still won, because it was a beautiful match from beginning to end to me. I enjoyed it, even though
she took the L.
Even though she took the L.
I love that you pointed that out, because I hope that because they're seeing her step up, like she's always been a leader in the locker room in NXT, but for Candice to step up and help with booking, maybe that'll get, the bookers and creative to kind of push her now to a title. Like she stepped in now in all aspects. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I wanted her to win. I love Shotzi and Ember, but I want, like, Candice needs a title. She has not had one.
Definitely.
I don't want to get stuck in that rate, because we've said it, not to cut you off. I am a huge Johnny fan, as you know, and I am a huge Candice fan. I wouldn't have found out about Johnny if I wasn't a fan of Candice.
Yeah.
I am in the I guess there's like a small allegiance for her in the NXT, where she has been there for a very long time and hasn't gotten to touch a title.
Yeah.
She's gotten in title situations, but always came up short. I really want her to be one of those people who gets a title at some point before she heads up to the main roster, and they do whatever they do with her.
If anybody deserves it, it's Candice for sure. The way that match was booked, I felt like Candice was booked as a credible competitor. I felt like, her winning would have been believable. Candice was putting work in NXT. She literally is, the one who's always willing to take the L. She's always willing to enter a feud, even though we know she's not going to win. Candice, to me, is probably one of the best workers they have down at NXT, and I can't wait to see her win a championship. She came up a little short during this championship match, but I do believe Candice will have her day. I honestly believe that before she moves up roster, I believe she'll have her day. Yeah, for sure. So let's move on to Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. I'll let y'all go. What did y'all think about this match?
Oh, you want me to start?
Yes, go ahead.
Really? Okay. So we all know where my allegiance lies, and it is with this lovely woman right here. We'll talk about her in a minute. But because of that, I was not a Raquel fan for a very long time. And this match put her over for me. And I think she's great. Now, I thought she was overrated. I thought that we were just pushing another tall power, like, female wrestler, kind of like a Rhea replacement on NXT. I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but like it felt like, oh, well, we have this spot now. Raquel, you give the Rhea vibe. Go over there. Like it felt like that to me. And I'm like, well, there is no replacement for Rhea Ripley. You got to like find somebody else. But I feel like she really stepped into her own and she's kind of wrestling in her own style now. And that belt looks nice on her. I will say that.
It does.
So not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I don't really remember a lot of the spots because I was very overwhelmed.
I do. I paid a lot of attention to this match because I actually liked Raquel since the Mae Young Classic.
We would fight over this all the time.
We would like legit when this whole Raquel Rhea feud started, we would argue about it so much. Mm-hmm. And I will go on record saying Jess was like, I don't feel that Raquel's ready. Like, why are you giving her Ripley? Why are you pushing her like this against Rhea Ripley when it doesn't make sense? Yeah. Then I explained to her a little bit like, yo, they have a huge history. And I actually, before there was even a big promo about Rhea and Raquel having a match, I showed her all the back stuff. Like, listen, they were a tag team in NXT before tag titles were even created. True. They have a very well-established friendship. So who better than to send Rhea off than her best friend in NXT to send her off properly? And then Raquel went on this streak of she beat Rhea. She was the person who got the pin on Io Shirai in War Games. Let's go back to that. Yeah. And it never got touched on. And then we started seeing Raquel have these moments where she would either face somebody big or get to the NXT tag titles or win the Dusty Classic. We're forgetting that she won the Dusty Classic with Dakota
with that botch job in the championship match later on,
but it was what it was. That match really set the bar high for her, and now she has to be. Now she's in a league now where she has to try to be one of the best NXT Women's Champions we ever have, because there's a lot of people on that list who have had very significant reigns. So she has to really, really prove herself. And I think she will, because look at the rest of that division and look who she beat. She beat the unbeatable. Io Shirai literally has run through everybody since she won the title. Yes. She beat Charlotte and Rhea to get the title. Then she beat Dakota. Then she beat Candice multiple times.
They were good matches, though.
They were good matches.
They were.
She beat Shotzi. She beat Tony. She beat everybody. Yeah. And the coolest part of this match was she went to Raquel, not Raquel going after her. She told her, I want you. You're my challenge. And she took the challenge, and bless Io Shirai. She jumps off of anything possible.
She doesn't care. She decides she's going to jump off of it.
That skull spot
was amazing.
I didn't need the pirate ship spot at Mania. I got a skull spot at TakeOver. And it was a woman that did it. I didn't need no KO pirate ship.
Yeah.
Didn't need it.
Didn't need it. We let it go. It was like,
Io jumped so KO didn't have to.
Dude, we were watching that match actually out back at my parents' house with my best friend and my sister. They do not like wrestling. They tolerate it when we're down here because they'll just hang out with us while it's on.
Yeah.
And they like Ciampa and Cesaro, like the attractive men. They want to watch the men wrestle. But they were watching this match with us, and we'll kind of like explain it. And they're like, isn't that the girl who fought Rhea? Because I showed them like the New Year's Evil match, Last Woman Standing. Because that's like my favorite. That's when I was like, okay, Raquel is good. Like Raquel deserves this where she's at right now.
Yeah.
But they were watching it and they were like, is she going to jump from that skull? And I was like, yeah, she is. Yeah. Let's go.
And it's crazy. Looking back at the match, we're like, yo, where'd Io go? And then we're like, oh, what the hell?
It was like War Games all over again.
And Raquel just caught her easy. And it was so good. It was so good.
Io got a lot of offense that match, too.
She did.
A lot of offense. She took it to Raquel.
Which I thought was going to be a power struggle, and it really wasn't. It was a very even match until we got to the end.
But I like how they play that, though. I feel like that makes for a much more interesting match than the whole giant versus the tiny person, because that's been done to death. It's been done to death.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely has.
I think it was great, and I think that's actually the best Raquel's looked gear-wise too. Was
definitely my favorite gear that Raquel has worn. She just being built up as this monster. And I gotta say, I did not always believe, Raquel until like fairly recently. And of course, politics aside, I have to give it to her. I believe her. The finish with Io, I kind of had like, because it was just, I believe in Raquel now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I truly do.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that was one of the better matches of the weekend. We had some hits or misses. So speaking of matches that didn't really do too much, let's let's go to tag team turmoil.
I was so hyped for this match. I was so hyped. This was one of my first, like the first match I was excited for. My first live show. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over.
No, it's our show. Take it over.
One of my favorite tag teams, like my favorite tag team, I'll say that, was in it, the Riot Squad. Like I was hyped. I was ready. Ruby Riot came out, Liv came out, and I was like, let's go. And then
they look good too.
They looked really
good.
My
God, they were Joker and Harley. They looked just chef's
chef's kiss.
I love them so much. I just you guys can talk about it. I just didn't like the match.
I didn't like the match at all. It was, and y'all know I love Naomi. Get her away from Lana, please.
Yeah,
please. And I just, it was, the whole match was slow. It was clunky. It just nothing flowed well together. I don't know if it was
3 mishaps.
Yeah,
in the first two teams, three teams.
Yeah, Lana like whiff a whole kick or something like that.
Well, Mandy fell. Mandy ate shit.
We can break this down.
Can't say she didn't bust her ass at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Mandy bust her ass.
And then Titus like tried to console her backstage, which is the funniest thing.
I saw that. Yeah.
Mandy fell. Dana's nipple came out, which very clear to us. Like in the stadium, they zoomed in on it pretty much. I know they blacked out the screen for you guys at home, but like all 6 screens just nipple, and I was like,
"Oh God, oh man."
And then Carmella's came out too.
Did it?
Like in the same like spot. I want to say like 30 seconds later.
Match, right? They're in the beginning.
Oh wow.
What? So yeah,
I just don't understand. I think that I can understand Dana Brooks coming out because her gear, to me, it didn't fit well. That wasn't good. The gear was ugly. First,
the gear was trash.
The gear was fugly. It is past ugly.
Terrible.
It was so bad.
The cut, everything.
They came out and I looked at Eugene and I was like, it looks like a diaper.
Yeah, like what is that?
It looked like a diaper mixed with like a 1980s swimsuit.
Yeah. They look like 80s aerobics instructors. It just
the booking behind it, the whole setup to the match was like weird. It was like, oh, we have to use all these women somehow. Let's just throw them in.
But not Bayley.
Yeah. But not Bayley. Bayley can't be a part of this. No.
Yeah. We're gonna give anybody who wants a spot, but not Bayley.
Yeah, but not Bayley. No. We're not even gonna put Bayley with Carmella, which would make sense because they do have a history.
Yeah.
But no. Billie Kay's got to be used somehow. And I do like Billie Kay. Billie Kay's been great.
Oh, yeah.
She's been awesome in this role. But nah.
I
think for me, too, the fact that we don't have genuine tag teams, I feel like the only genuine tag team in that thing to me was Riot Squad. Everyone else was thrown together. You made it a point to break the Iconics up. For what? Peyton Royce
put one of them in this match.
And then put one in the match. It made absolutely no sense. Carmella, her gimmick has changed, but she's still wearing money gear. It's not Money Mella anymore. So like she had the generic sex pot gimmick.
It's a setup for Money in the Bank though. She's trying to like get that in everyone's head. Like back.
I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. I don't think so. I think she just was like Money Mella. I like money. Let me put this gear on. It wasn't good.
I felt it was an homage to her old gimmick. Like, sometimes, and like I was explaining to Jess for Mania, people pull out old stuff, little things for their gear that you're like, oh man, I remember when you did that in your old gimmick, or they pull out old moves they haven't used before. So maybe it was an homage to Money Mella, but she's still untouchable or whatever the hell that is. The funniest part of the whole entrance with Carmella was Billie Kay with the big ass white trying to hype her up. But
I was so I went to the bathroom not knowing that this was coming. And I was like, I had to go, and I was like, I was hoping it was going to be a men's match or something. So I ran out and I heard Naomi and Lana's entrance like hit, and I was like, shit. I was really looking forward to see like the glow entrance and everything. And I will say, Lana has never looked better than when she's with Naomi gear wise. Lana's look is actually cohesive now, and I feel like I just want to shout that out. I feel like their gear is fantastic week after week. And it ties together really well. Where some of those tag teams do not look like a team. I'm sorry.
They don't move like a team. They don't know where the other one is at in the ring. They're always looking around for each other. It just didn't feel cohesive. They don't feel like a unit. They feel like two separate people who were thrown into a tag team. And I feel like that's the whole problem with this entire division is everyone is just thrown into a team. You break up the teams that are teams, and then you expect, to throw random people. Like even Nia Jax and Shayna to me are just completely random, Oh, we're both heels. We're both bullies. So, let's make a team. It doesn't make sense to me. But the whole match, just even the eliminations. Did Naomi take the pin or did Lana take the pin?
I think Lana took the pin.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
she's the Tamina. Oh, I hate to say it like that. She's the Tamina of the group who always takes the pin. Like if they lose, they're going to be the one to take the pin. So it's going to be Tamina. So the match was very clunky. Even though the team we liked, they were clunky too. But I will blame it on ring rust because obviously, if you're sitting in catering for like 2-3 weeks, not doing anything and not being on TV and not getting that training off,
spot they had was that like brawl backstage between the 10 girls.
And that was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was really it. There was no build up for this match. And I don't think that. I think that played into like the crowd not being as invested in it because there was really no buildup. It was like, oh, like you said, we need to do something with these women. Let's throw them on the card. I love y'all. I mean, we're here, so we all love women's wrestling. We didn't want to dislike this match, but for me, it just didn't do anything for my soul. Like it literally just didn't do a thing. I mean, they tried to have some double team moves, some spots, but it just felt like clunky. It just didn't work well for me. One thing I will say is I'm glad Tamina got her WrestleMania moment. Y'all know I'm a Tamina fan all the way. Yeah. Now I will say that Natty ruins everything. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
That splash could have been so much better if Natty would have just left her where she was at, but she drug her so close to the corner. Tamina didn't get any height. She didn't get any kind of like depth or anything like that. It just looked like she just jumped off. Natalia why'd you do that, Natty? Tamina can jump farther than that. Like, why'd you do that?
I feel like it's always, why'd you do that, Natty? And
it's always Natty, why?
The only thing, like, the people, because we made friends with the people in our section because we all had the 2-night pods. So people like it was 3, like no one in front of us, no one behind us, no one next to us, but there were people 3 seats away. So you would talk and whatever. And like, what really, like, I was so excited to have another women's match added to like my first Mania. I was so excited for this. I got my Riot Squad. I got the Riot Squad and Rhea Ripley in one weekend. Like, you can't take this away from me. The Riot Squad, I feel like, had the best performance in the match.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then and I was like holding on to hope. I was like, they're gonna win it. Every time, like, it was like 2.9. Like Ruby or Liv would come and just like knock the person off, and like it was happening, and they were the only ones that felt cohesive. Like you say that. Yeah. They're the only ones that know where the other person is at all times. And like, I would be like, wait, where's Ruby? Where's Liv? And then like, you just see like a little head pop up because we were like so far back, you couldn't see the floor. So you're just like, you see like a little head pop up and I'm like, oh, there they are. But I love them. But then you get down to Tamina and Natty and then the Riot Squad and it's like, oh, they might win it. And then it's just, no, they're not. They're not.
They don't. And now you're disappointed.
And it was so boring. And Natty and Tamina were out there for like no time. Riot Squad ran the fucking gauntlet. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I can curse.
Yes, we can curse. Yes.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, this is a cursing
show. Yeah. Wrestling show. You're gonna curse.
Wrestling show. Yeah. You know how frustrating it is being a wrestling fan? Trust me.
Oh, I get it now.
You weren't here during the terrible, terrible era of women's wrestling. Yeah. So yes, you can curse. Trust me. You're gonna have. You're going to. You're going to. So let's lead into the women's tag team championship. Natty and Tamina get a shot the next night for the women's tag team championship against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Y'all, my heart melted for Tamina because not every wrestler ever gets to hear their name chanted. You know, there are people that will enter that ring and leave that ring and will never hear the crowd get behind them. I've been in Tamina stand since she debuted with the Usos against the Hart Foundation.
Agreed. Yeah, I remember those days.
Whatever. Yeah. To hear Tamina, like I was hyped. I was chanting and by myself in the room watching it. I was chanting Tamina. Like the crowd was behind her. And of course, here goes Natty. How did you not see that? How did you not see that tag?
Oh my God. And the whole crowd, we were all screaming and she's like, what? What? And we're all like, you dumb.
Like, yo, you idiot. Like, yo, she's not legal. She's not legal.
You got the whole crowd telling you.
Legal. Like, we're like, yo, wrong person. Wrong person.
And her dumbass just, what?
Huh? What? Sharpshooter? Oh, okay, sharpshooter.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it properly.
No, we were all like, yeah, she's just going to tweet about it later. She's just going to cry about it later on Twitter. It's okay, guys. Just
That's what she does. That's what she does.
I do feel bad for Natty because that kick she took to the face, and she showed after.
She's got a hole in her lip.
She got a hole.
Yeah, she's got a hole in her lip now. Yeah,
her teeth are fine, but she's got.
Shayna kicked her, right?
Kicked her right in the mush.
Of course, Shayna did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Shayna. Yeah, she's famous for that.
She's famous for kicking people in the mouth.
I finally liked Nia and Shayna's gear together. Nia's was a little.
It worked.
But I
feel like Nia's won that already, though. Honestly, I feel like I've seen her in that gear before.
I think she has one similar, but like I liked the little cape she had.
Yeah, the color scheme. I like the
cape was dope.
Where was Reginald?
Yeah, where was Reginald?
Hopefully, far away.
Far away.
He should have jumped in. He should have jumped in and broke up the chokehold that Natalya was in. I'd have been fine with that.
Yeah,
make yourself useful for once, Reggie.
For flippy stuff.
I really thought that they were going to drop and it was going to be Reginald's fault, and then Nia and Shayna were going to break up, and Reginald's going to go with Nia. That's what I feel like.
I thought was going to happen.
And then we're going to revisit Shayna Rhea. Is like where I'm hoping, because Shayna Rhea was so good in NXT.
It was really good. It was really good. Great send off for Rhea. Shayna too, definitely.
Yep.
One thing I want to talk about with the tag team match was Nia Jackson Tamina's interaction. Yo, I loved every second of that because I was watching I don't know was it an interview or something? Yeah, it was Chasing Glory with Lillian Garcia, and she was talking to Tamina, and Tamina had mentioned that she was not jealous, but she was a little upset because she was the first. She wanted to be the first Polynesian woman to win the championship in WWE, and Nia Jax came along and just skyrocketed, and she said how she felt some type of way, but she's happy for her family, but she still felt a way about it. And so I feel like Nia Jackson screaming at Tamina like, you ain't shit. I love that because what it did was it fired Tamina up, and she was headbutting her. She was attempting to. Tamina was a monster that entire match, and I think that's kind of what Tamina has been lacking, is personality, fire, and we finally got to see that. Her facial expressions were on point. She fought the motion. And I loved every interaction she had with Nia Jackson that match. Tamina was a beast that match.
Yeah, surprisingly, Tamina was the one that got the shine out of this the most. And hopefully this leads to a rematch either on Raw or SmackDown, and then they drop the titles, because you have to split them up. And if you want to build a new tag team, this is the way to do it. And we've proven that. Look, we're rooting for Tamina. Tamina's a vet that hasn't gotten any championships. Natty's had 3 of those women have had championships, and Tamina has never smelled a championship. She's always been in the picture, but never won it. She's usually out the Royal Rumble quick as hell.
Yeah.
Has she ever been in Money in the Bank? I can't think of when. Has she ever been
she was in Money in the Bank one year. She was. I remember because I was rooting for her that year, and I had my money on Tamina, and she didn't win. I remember.
Yeah, she never.
She showed out. She showed out in that match. She did good. She showed out. Like, she killed it. I agree. It's time for Tamina. It's sort of like when everyone was rooting for Naomi, and then Sasha came, and then boom, Sasha had a title, and Naomi fans were sick over that. Happy for Sasha, but we were sick, and I felt the same kind of way with Tamina last night. Like, I was genuinely sick, for Tamina not winning that. That's the best Tamina's gear has ever looked.
She looked so good.
She looked amazing. Natalya too.
Now, okay, it was better than what was that gear she wore
at the Royal Rumble?
No, the Rumble, and then a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
that I did whatever she wore a couple weeks ago for whatever was it her singles match?
Yeah,
it was so bad and it did not fit her. So I was just happy that she came out in something that fit her. But Tamina, she had the blue in her hair, the gear. Like, I just wish her and Natty looked more like
team, like Riot Squad.
Great. Oh my god, just Riot Squad all day.
Riot Squad looked amazing. Like that, they had the best gear out that whole tag team match.
Oh yeah, even down to the shoes. Both of their shoes were custom for the gear.
Yeah, they killed that.
I don't even like the Joker, and Ruby Riott as a Joker makes me like the Joker. I love it.
Yeah, so it was good. It was I liked the match. I enjoyed the women's tag team match. So I'm going to take a step back here, and I'm going to let Jess. I'm going to let Jess have this one.
Can someone else start it, and I'll finish it. I'm very overwhelmed still. Like it hasn't really hit. You start. I'm gonna have you start.
Take it away,
You were there with me.
Okay.
Come on, Wade. Take it away, Wade.
All right, so it was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the Raw Women's
Championship. Nightmare versus the Empress.
Yes, the Nightmare versus the Empress. And can we please give WWE credit again? What a beautiful ass package!
Oh my god!
They set up for the match.
Yes.
The booking may have been the booking for how this was set up. It was rushed. Been ass and rushed.
Yeah.
But damn, did they create a good ass video package?
Okay.
You wouldn't know that from the video package though.
Hell no, you wouldn't.
I told Wade this in the car this morning maybe. I was like the fading in and out while Asuka's talking of Rhea as like a nightmare in the background, and then Asuka doing the same thing, just beautiful. And we didn't see it because I guess they played it Saturday, like for people on TV. We didn't see it until Sunday. People in the stands. Yeah. So we saw it right before Ash Costello came out. And so I was like sitting there tearing up. There's a picture of me just crying from the video package alone. But okay.
So I have been a Rhea Ripley fan, not as big as a fan as the person sitting next to me right now, but in such a short time.
I know.
But being a fan of hers, you always liked what she did in the ring, and we saw her go through. It's funny. Twitter even said it. Like Rhea Ripley is officially a Pokemon because we saw her evolve.
Yes,
she went from baby Charlotte to the punk rocker chick to what we see to NXT, the badass, to what we have now, the nightmare. And it's so cool to see her evolve and get better and better and better. And you felt for her the most because she was supposed to have all of this last year. It was a whole big build. Ash Costello and everybody were supposed to perform.
She was already booked to perform last year for the entrance and everything.
Oh, man.
And like what kills me the most, I still haven't watched last year's Mania. I won't.
I do not watch it.
I know the outcome, and I also know what really pisses me off the most is that they filmed both endings for those women, and they did not know which one was going to air. So Rhea had to sit there and watch herself lose and not knowing, with no family here, her Mania moment taken away from her. So for me, like I found Rhea Ripley when like I met Wade. So I've only been following her since August, but I went from never hearing her name in my life to like I've watched every match except Mania that she's had that I can find. And I've like deep dove, and this woman is like I call her my pillar of strength because like she's such a badass, and no matter how much she's been knocked down and beaten down, she like rises up again, and she can lose, but she's gonna come back stronger. And for me,
for sure,
it's a reminder, and I tell Wade this all the time. She's just a reminder for me to be 100% myself, no matter who it pisses off, because somebody's always gonna be mad. And that's why I think Rhea is so important. And I feel like just seeing how many fans last night were on her side in the crowd. I don't know what they piped in for you guys, because I know they were piping in chants and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
they piped in some boos.
There were some people, and there were some people like when we were going, "You deserve it." They would say, "No, you don't," whatever. And it's like, "Oh, she skipped the line." I'm sorry, Paige won the title her first night on her debut.
For sure. Yep.
So absolutely. Fuck off. Rhea's at least done a Mania performance before.
Yep.
She's had titles. She's wrestled people on the main roster. She's had how many Rumble performances, how many War Games, how many Mae Youngs. I'm sorry. The woman deserved it.
She deserved it for sure.
She did.
I'm sick of the people who are like, oh, why'd she get it? Why not this person or this person?
It's favorite syndrome. It's real bad favorite syndrome. I think that Rhea, and also it's how you prove yourself in the ring, whether or not you can, have a good match. Rhea has personality.
Yeah.
Out the ass.
Her character is fully developed to the point where even if you're not a Rhea fan, you're invested to see if the other person overcomes this nightmare.
Yeah.
And that's what I found myself doing for this match was because I'll be honest, I was going for Asuka because I love Asuka. I have a soft spot for her. Mm-hmm. I feel like Charlotte should have never ended her streak. So that's why I always root for Asuka. Always. Mm-hmm. But this whole match was just straight chaos. The way they were going back and forth, it was physical. It was unpredictable. This whole match was chaos. And that kind of speaks to, how good of a job Rhea has done at developing her character, because you didn't know what Rhea was going to do this entire match. It was chaos. You could tell it was almost like she was thinking on her feet, kind of like, because Asuka's offense is very innovative. You don't know how to handle it. But I think Rhea did such a great job reacting to Asuka's offense and countering that this match was amazing to me.
Yeah, it was really good. And you know what the thing is, to go back to what you guys were talking about, we could have had Charlotte versus Lacey at WrestleMania.
That was the plan.
That was the original plan.
Lacey was supposed to get the belt off Asuka at Fastlane, Elimination Chamber. And then Charlotte was supposed to fight her at Mania. We were never supposed to have Asuka or Rhea.
Oh my God. Could you imagine what this year would have been like?
I'd have been sitting there so tight.
I would have gone to the bathroom.
you probably wouldn't have been at Mania if Rhea wasn't.
My biggest fear, and you can ask Wade, the week before Mania, the week of Mania, every time we watched something, I would just sit there pissed because I felt like Charlotte was going to come out.
We all did.
We all did.
I kept sitting there and I was like, if it wasn't going to be Charlotte, it was going to be somebody else. It was going to be Becky. It was going to be whoever was going to take this moment from Rhea and from me. This is my moment. But I
Jess is the Raw Women's Champion too.
I am now the Raw Women's
Co-champion.
I was a part of that match. No, but for me as a Rhea fan, and this was my first time seeing her in person, and I kept telling Wade, I was like, it's too perfect. The day's too perfect. It was pouring all day. The rain literally cleared 20 minutes before the start of Mania. No rain after that. Not a single drop.
None.
We're sitting there and I'm like, I hope they don't open the show. I need her to go second to last. It feels so important.
Yeah.
I just need that moment for her because I know she opened up last year, one of the nights.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ooh, night 2, she needs to go before the main event. That's a big spot to me. I don't know why that mattered. I will say it was a little clunky in the beginning, the first 2 to 3 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
But neither of them have really wrestled. Rhea's only done that one tag match with Asuka since the Rumble.
Yep, since the Rumble. Yep. She's been basically home chilling.
No, they said
catering.
She's like, I've been in catering.
They haven't had a lot of interaction with each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And it's the dream match for both of them. They both gone on record saying that they want to face each other. The match was very in the beginning, and then once they found it with each other, I feel once they got outside and started brawling a little bit, that's when it picked up. And you saw Asuka bring out her best. That DDT made me go, yo, Asuka bringing it now.
Yeah.
This is reality. We got to get onto this match. And from that point on, it was just bam, 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 hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
Electric chair drops, kicks to the face.
Oh my God. Yeah.
One of my favorite spots in that match was Asuka was kicking the shit out of Rhea, and she kept going like this. She was like, come on.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Come on, again.
I think she even said, she's like, is that all you got?
Yeah.
She's like, let's go. And we couldn't hear them because obviously we're there, but just seeing Rhea do this, I was like, I just cried even harder. But
it's like she ate it.
Yeah, she ate them kicks.
Yeah. And that's the thing is we were talking about it and we were like, tonight or last night, that match is going to determine, I feel like, where Rhea is going with this, because she debuted and we didn't know if she was a heel or a face, because Rhea's always been a tweener to me.
Yeah, she's tweener now to me.
But last night I feel like she wrestled like a heel.
Yeah.
With the slaps upside the head and come on, I'm not ready, bitch, let's go.
Yeah.
Come on. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, let's go, smack her.
But see, that's what I mean about that personality and the character. That's what kind of draws you in and makes you want to either root for her or, root against her. I love how Rhea carries herself in the ring. I really enjoy it. That match exceeded my expectations. Like I said, it definitely was a little, rocky in the beginning, but once they found that chemistry and that switch turned on, it was magic. It was beautiful.
If things go the way we're thinking, and I hate that they named the pay-per-view this because I found out once we left WrestleMania Backlash. What?
Who came up with that? Just call it back. It's literally Backlash. Yeah.
I told Jess this, and you know this too from experience. If the Mania match doesn't live up to the hype, usually the rematch at the next pay-per-view is way better.
Yeah, so they go all out.
If there's an Asuka Rhea rematch, it's going to be better than what we got at Mania, and they're going to have way more time. And looking at the times of the matches, the tag team title match earlier in the show got more time than this.
It was only like 30 seconds longer.
30 seconds longer.
The Rhea Asuka match was like 13:30, and the tag team or the tag team champ was 14:10 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. But like, I don't know.
I would love 5 more minutes of this, though. I did not like the finish, to be honest with you guys.
Really?
I didn't like it because I feel like I watched Asuka's NXT run. You know, she was bruised. She survived a lot more than one riptide. And I felt like if something should have put Asuka away one time, it should have been an avalanche riptide.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's what needed to happen. And it kind of irritated me that Asuka, like, literally one riptide that she was put away. And it wasn't like a brutal, like, boom, riptide. It was like
it was a cool sequence. Like I keep telling Wade that because like that's my moment for me is like the whole sequence from like her hitting Asuka against the turnbuckle to like the riptide and everything. Because like for me, I know Rhea's moves at this point. I got to see every move Rhea has minus an avalanche riptide.
Yeah.
We got to see the electric chair drop. Yeah. We got the electric chair drop. We got a nightmare lock. And then we got the drop kick off the top rope.
That was good.
Oh my God. The one where Asuka like flipped over. But then like when I saw Asuka's hand go under her leg, I literally stood up and screamed. I was like, it's happening. It's happening.
This is it.
I know what's going on. But I was also expecting Asuka to kick out because like one riptide. Yeah, I mean, it's Asuka.
Yeah. But it makes Rhea look really that one riptide. I feel like if they don't capitalize off of that and turn riptide into a no kick out finisher, it's a lost opportunity. I feel like being that put Asuka away, no one should ever kick out a riptide now.
No.
But we know eventually if Charlotte becomes one of those moves, Charlotte Flair will be the first one. She kicked out of it last year.
She did. Yeah, and they'll say that. Nope.
Well, how about we turn the avalanche into like the big finisher now?
Yeah, like, that's going to be her go-to.
I think that they should say Asuka didn't kick out because the power Rhea had brought in that whole sequence, I think is really what it was. Because that was a very back and forth sequence. And then I just think it was boom, done. Yeah. And I was like,
I was expecting her to kick out.
Yeah, you can play it up where Asuka wasn't ready for the riptide because it was a move she never felt or had done when put in that position.
Okay.
So you can play it up where Rhea got the best of her.
Where she wasn't ready for Rhea. So that whole you're not ready for Asuka. No.
You weren't ready for Rhea.
Because Rhea got pissed when she said that at the contract signing. That's why she flipped the table.
Yeah.
So, in her head.
I don't know. For me, it was a perfect match after the clunkiness was gone, but it was also my dream and I got to experience it. And I'm just glad I was there when she raised that belt.
Feels good when you become a fan of somebody and see them, win at Mania. I only wish that I had the opportunity to be there when Bianca won. So speaking of dreams coming true, now Wade and I we're on opposing sides on this because Wade is Sasha's #1 fan. I am Bianca's #1 fan. So we were both equally hyped for this, and we actually did an episode, pre-episode to Women Can Wrestle, where we talked about our feelings about this match and other things. But let's rewind. Bianca Belair eliminates Rhea Ripley in the 2021 Royal Rumble. I feel
like that's our Survivor Series build now.
Yep.
I feel like that is 100% our Survivor Series.
I like it. I'm not mad at it.
I'm leaving it alone. If that match happens, I'm just playing ref.
Yeah. I'm just playing ref. Well, you and I are gonna have some fight.
We're gonna have to go at it. But Bianca eliminates Rhea Ripley, and she earns an opportunity to main event WrestleMania, and she chooses Sasha Banks. Now, one thing I will say is I didn't really care for some of the build for this match. I hate when they make the focal point of women's singles competition tag team stuff because the story is already there. You win Mania, boom, boom. That's the story right there. Yep. You don't need a tag team build up. You don't need a jealousy storyline like that. The rookie stuff could have started right from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Sasha could have turned heel as soon as Bianca chose to. She could have knocked her eyelash off right then and there, and that would have been it. And we would have a few. Like that would have been it. But we didn't get that. We got corny build up, but it all was worth it in the end because we got to see history being made. Yes, Black history and women's history. JBL.
Yeah.
And it is about that, and it is important.
Exactly.
Thank you, Michael Cole.
And Booker T, you should have said something.
Yeah,
exactly.
Booker T said something, but you had this vendetta with Sasha for like ever.
And he has a vendetta with Black women. Period.
Oh no, but I love
same thing with.
Let's call it what it is. I know we're on opposite sides, but I love that Sasha called him on his own podcast. She's like, "What are you mad that I did more than you've done in your career, and you're a Hall of Famer."
Hey,
bodied him on his own show. I was like, good. I was like, truth hurt, don't it? Truth hurt, don't it?
Sasha's body of work is impeccable. It's untouchable, and I'm glad that it was pointed out because you have to think about it. WrestleMania historically has been main evented by white men. Women don't main event WrestleMania. Black people don't main event WrestleMania. Black women don't main event WrestleMania. Women are finally getting the opportunity. Women are finally getting the shine, and it's well overdue. We have women who literally didn't get to maximize their potential, like Eve Torres, Melina, Michelle McCool, who didn't get these opportunities. And now that they're getting them, it matters. It truly matters. But we can go on and on about that all day. But let's get to the match. Bianca Belair's entrance music hits, and one thing I wish they would stop doing the 3D stuff, 3D logos and everything. I think it's important. I like the 3D images they have laid over the thing. Yeah, I hate those things
on TV. You know the thing where they did for Rhea, like with the chains and everything.
Oh yeah, the CG thing that they put in.
The CGI. Why couldn't I think of that?
It's okay. No, so we had drones though. I don't know if they showed you guys the drones on TV.
No.
Okay, so in arena they couldn't really use them night one, but what they did was they have drones and they're controlled by computers and they fly in like the shape of something. So Sasha had her glasses and they were right next to the pirate ship, like a massive like drone pair of her glasses. Bianca was supposed to have the lips. Everyone was supposed to have one. But it was so windy they couldn't have the drones fly for everyone.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Last night too. Yeah, the Fiend had it last night. Roman had it. There was something for WrestleMania. Sheamus had it.
It was a waste of time. I hated that Fiend segment. But we'll get to we're not going to get to that. Alexa Bliss was in that, but I mean, it's a women's wrestling podcast, so we're not going to talk about that. So Bianca's music hits, and my heart just filled with so much joy seeing her get down that ring. But you could tell she was nervous, though. You could tell in her face. She kept trying to. She was taking it in, and I won't say I loved her yet, but I really liked the fact that she stuck with her "Watch Me Shine." I thought it was a little much, the tassels and stuff like that. I get it. Watch Me Shine, and she was glittery. She had the tassels glowing and stuff like that, reflecting off of everything. I like her Royal Rumble gear from last year better than I like her Mania gear from this year. But I feel like, she put a lot of thought into it, and, it wasn't terrible. It was good, but I like her other gears better. But Sasha came out. Sasha looked amazing. I didn't like the wig at first. I didn't. Until she did it.
I'm gonna let you talk in a second. Okay. I am the biggest Sasha Banks gear hater. I shit on her stuff every week. All the time. I think the outfit she wears when she's not wrestling, trash. Stop buying from Fashion Nova, girl. You can get better. I'm over the two-piece sets that look a little weird. The clear heels that fog up every time she's got to walk out there. I'm over it. She looked so good on Friday. And then she came out with that gear. I looked at Wade and I was like, that's my gear of the night. That is my gear of the night. Sasha Banks turned it out, and it was a tribute to Naomi and Alicia Fox.
We found that out afterwards.
Yeah, I saw the Naomi thing. I didn't. Who is Alicia Fox? The fishnet? What part of that gear was Alicia Fox? Because Foxy has had a lot of looks.
Yeah,
I think it was the fishnets and the colors, because a lot of the glow was dedicated to Naomi.
Well, Naomi had a gear with that same like corset kind of style.
Yeah.
On the front, but the wig, I love the wig. You didn't like it?
You know what it was when she was out front when Vince McMahon was saying whatever he was saying, it wasn't done. It was literally just there, and I was like, she's gonna go out like that.
I don't think it was made yet. I think they literally just plopped it on her head. No,
she put it on and was like, "Gotta step out."
I wish she had some blue in the gear, because my thing is Sasha always wears blue, and the fact that she went from like blue straight into green, and then the hair still had blue. I was like, I wish some blue would have been on the gear with it, just a little bit. But it was still my gear of the night. That coat, like,
the coat was ill.
She came out, and I was like, "You are the boss. You know what? I believe you. You can have it."
All right, I want to talk about both gears because I'm gonna give my honest opinion. First of all, let's go back to Bianca's music hitting. We were there, and we had a side angle. RJ, you keep saying that, you can tell she was nervous. We saw Bianca
every time they opened the curtain, we could see behind the curtain.
We could see her bouncing, like jumping up and down. She was ready to go.
Wow. Yeah.
And we saw the tassels flying and everything. We was like, yo, she's ready. She comes out, the translucent gear. I was like, okay, Bianca. The minute her music hit, everybody got up. Every single
really, I love that. I love to hear
they were like, Bianca.
I popped off. Yeah. I heard the whip, and I was like, come on.
And everyone was like, yo, they looked at me like, yo, aren't you rooting for Sasha? I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's not.
I was Team Bianca. I was repping you. I was like, Bianca, let's go.
Let's go, B.
I will agree, though. The gear, we had this conversation on the phone, I think yesterday. It's same silhouette, and everyone else brought out like a different look except Rhea. Rhea wore the same look she's been wearing, but in a different, like completely different, like fabric and like look.
Yeah. Plus fabric swap. Yeah.
Bianca's gear was like the same gear we see every week, just in a different fabric, but not in the same way. I feel like we've seen that gear before.
Yeah, it feels like she was like, okay, because I remember, I don't know, it's the EST cut. We're insider. We both asked her about her gear when we did virtual meet and greets, and she said, I'm so hyped. And I was thinking like, yo, she about to body it. I like the gear. It's just, it felt a little repetitive.
It felt Royal Rumble, not WrestleMania.
If she'd have pulled that Royal Rumble gear out for that, I'd have been like, yo, what you doing out here? But I do love that, in the back, we didn't catch it, but they showed it like in little close-up photos. You're going to get this Black Girl Magic was stitched into her gear.
On the top.
Wow.
Not on the jacket, but like literally on her top. So the whole back.
I saw something on the back, but I didn't know what it was. I was like, damn, did she leave the tag on?
No, it was for history. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Black Girl Magic. That's what it said on the back.
Awesome.
I'll send you the photo.
They should auction that off.
They should auction that off.
They definitely should.
But now let's get into my lady's gear.
Oh my god, your lady?
You're my lady. You're my lady. You're my lady.
You gonna
please stand by.
Okay. My favorite female wrestler of the times. Shout out to Santino. But of the times. She came out, and let me tell you the look I got from Jess. She was like, I'm going to judge her gear the minute she comes out here.
I'm not nice to Sasha.
She's like, Wade, I know this is history, but I need her gear to be on point. The minute she was like, oh, I like her gear, I got so hyped. I told you, look at it. He looks magnificent.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
And then Sasha. And it fit well.
And Sasha was doing the whole bump. I was like, yeah, that's not good. I was like, look at her. She looks amazing. Go, Sasha. Yeah, Sasha. I almost did the Will Smith. I was like, Sasha. And then them just getting in the ring, just that beautiful sound of them just in the ring. And I'm going to go back to something you said. I'm going to give you full credit for it. seeing them in that moment is just something burned in my brain for all time. Mm-hmm. Seeing Bianca's pure emotions just flow out, and Sasha looking at her, and she was trying to keep it together. So I will give her credit because you said this as the vet. She got Bianca right back in order.
Just with like a quick, let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it. Come on.
I hope that image of them like looking at each other in the ring becomes a shirt, a poster, a something. Because like I told Wade,
goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah, like I was sitting there crying like the entire time, like history, and I'm like, I looked at him, I was like, I just can't wait until like inevitably like have kids in the future and I can show my daughters this match.
Yeah.
And just like how much this means, and like look, like that's you guys.
Yeah.
Like and like our kids. Like, I just sat there crying. I was like, I get to show my children in the future. I don't have kids right now, but like I can show them this history making match and just be like, look what Black girls can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look what they can do if they put look what they can do in front of a big stage.
They put in the work and like other people paved the way for these two women.
Yeah.
The main event WrestleMania.
And it was trailblazing. It was. It's one of those things that, we'll look back on this because I always, think about, when we were kids, the matches that we saw that inspired us. I feel like that's a match that 30 years from now, when Bianca's retired, that somebody's going to say, that's what made me want to do this. When I saw Bianca and Sasha in the ring at WrestleMania 37 in the main event of night one, and the emotion, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. That's going to be the match that inspires people. That's going to be the spark that starts the flame for somebody's passion for wrestling. And I can't wait to see who gets inspired by that spark.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Who's the next?
Yeah.
Who's the one that's going to see it and go, that's
my sister, who again does not like wrestling, she retweeted the moment of them in the ring before the match started.
A lot of people don't watch it.
Yeah, my sister was like, I don't watch wrestling, and she was like, I'm sobbing. Like this is like she even understood how big that moment meant.
Yeah,
and, like,
even the fans knew when they were standing in the ring just looking at each other before the match started, and Bianca started crying and she did the thing like this or whatever. The way the fans were like, everybody
we were on our feet.
Emotional.
I don't know
stadium.
I don't know if you caught it or it was heard, but the minute they were looking at each other and like Bianca was having a moment, everybody started clapping and
I think You Deserve It started too.
You Deserve It started.
Yeah, like right off the rip. We were all just like, you deserve it. Was
it was a moment. I felt it from home. I don't think I've ever, and I think this is kind of what we talked about before, was like how you don't need, and no disrespect to Charlotte, but you don't need Charlotte to create these WrestleMania moments. There's a difference between a WrestleMania match and a WrestleMania moment. This was both a WrestleMania match and a WrestleMania moment, and it was huge for both of them. And what I like about it is nobody lost. This match solidifies Sasha's body of work I don't care. You can say what you want about Sasha. You can say she's rude. You can say she's distant. Whatever you want to say about Sasha, this woman's body of work is beyond anything I've ever seen in women's wrestling. Wrestling, period. Sasha's body of work is immaculate.
It really is. And to see a student of the game come in and pass the torch to someone who we've said since we've seen her in the combines and everything, it's just
the dogs are hype.
The dogs are hype. The dogs are hype for that.
We're like, yeah.
Tell it, Wade. I believe you. I believe you. Wade. Wade is basically hyped up. I love Sasha, and this is the reason why. She's a student of the game that is willing to put other people over to help them grow, to help them develop. And the minute she saw Bianca, and she was saying it, and you and I both know this, the day she saw Bianca in the Mae Young Classic, she called it. She said, I want to work with her so bad. And who knew that we would get to WrestleMania and that would be the main event? Bianca Belair is a star. I knew. Yeah. Can you give me the lottery numbers too, and we can work something out?
Yeah, for real.
We can go to Dallas next year.
Call me Triple H. I saw it. I saw it from the
combine. We're talking about how Triple H is like the man this weekend. Like both his girls walked out with belts. God,
yes.
All his girls put in work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say what you want about him, but that man has an eye. He has an eye, and Mark Henry recruited, but he's the one who kind of, was like, okay, yeah, you're right. This is the one right here. That whole match, the story that was told, and that's another thing too. Like, they didn't need the tag team build-up because the story was already there. You have two black women, main events in WrestleMania. That was the story right then, in itself. And even though WWE is corporate and probably right wing, we know. The fans knew what the story was, and I think that's what filled the emotion. They didn't care about the petty fighting and stuff like that. Fans were there for the emotion, for the emotional moment. The spots in this match were the spine buster, the gorilla press. Oh my God, there's so much that happened in this match.
The spot that got me, and Jess was like, "Wait, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it." And I'm like, "I know. I'm terrified. I am so terrified. Yep. I do not want this
to dive."
Yep.
I love Sasha.
She bounced off that rope and he went, "No!"
Yeah, I see. As much as we heard Jess during the Rhea match, I'm surprised nobody heard me go, "No!" And everybody around me was like,
"Oh yeah, everybody was."
The dive went off perfectly, and I'm just like, "Yo, that was beautiful." And all we see is Bianca go like pick her up. I screamed. I was like, "Oh my God!" She got her up. Bianca was like, "Okay, all right, we're gonna play." Carried her. Oh my
God, I know.
Carried her. Gorilla press. Walked with her up the stairs and tossed Sasha's ass back in the ring. And I want to give Sasha a little bit more credit. She ragdolled the fuck out of herself.
Yeah.
The
whole match. But that's the beauty of Sasha Banks. She'll make you look good.
And we got RJ to give you another one, man. You said it the minute this feud started. Sasha's gonna mess with her hair and is gonna come back to bite her in the ass.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you explain this because there's been some online criticism, and I know you saw the article. I'm gonna let you have this.
Yeah. So there are people who aren't feeling the hair whip, and they said, "Oh, it's too much. It was brutal." Blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. These men have beat the crap out of each other with kendo sticks on a regular basis. Blood has been drawn on a regular basis. Yeah. That put a pin in that. But we knew going into this, I knew going into this, that Sasha Banks can play dirty. We've seen her stomp on Bayley's fingers. Sasha will do whatever it takes to win. And she used the hair to her advantage for the majority of the match. It came back to bite her in the ass when she got whipped. But the best spot for me as far as the hair is concerned was the bank statement submission with Bianca wrapped in her own hair.
Yes.
That was so, and I told you that was going to happen. I said, "Now watch Sasha use that hair for the bank statement," and she did it. And I flipped. I was like, I knew it.
It was so good.
It was so good.
If Bianca would have tapped, we would have been like, it makes sense.
But the ref said it was
okay.
Legal.
Yeah, the ref said it
irritated me. Yeah, which it irritated me because I feel like because the refs are taught to call it like a shoot, like whatever it is, it is. So I get why he did it, but I also feel like he could have let that go and was like, "Come on, Bianca, what do you say?" I feel like he could have let that go. But the hair whip at the end was brutal.
And people were trying to say that it was a piped in sound. And I was like, no, we were there.
No.
That was 100% legit. It echoed in that stadium.
Yeah.
We all were,
The first time I saw the hair whip was a clip before she actually started using it. It was a clip of her and Ruby Riott in the ring. And she
got it. Yeah. Ruby sells for anybody though. She'll take anything.
Yeah. It was brutal. And that you could literally hear it. That was not a piped in sound.
No.
People were saying how it was
fake. Did you see the gash it left on Sasha's side?
But you know how I knew that whip was going to be brutal? Bianca's hair braid is normally a certain size.
Yes.
Yeah. That braid that night was thick.
And it was longer than normal.
It was thick and longer than normal. Which also scared me because it was really long. I was terrified she was going to get it caught on the 450.
Yeah. Yep.
Which
I was terrified it was going to get tangled.
Which she got off again.
Ooh, her 450 is beautiful.
Beautiful. It's just a beautiful move for her to have. It's like, it's like if she's desperate to get something off, she's gonna get it off.
Yeah.
And back to the hair whip, it sounded like a shotgun. It sounded like we were in shitty weather for Mania for night one. We thought lightning was coming.
Yeah.
We were up there gonna stop the match. It was like, and you could hear it, and it felt from the deep souls of all the Black women that we know.
My God, yeah.
She said, let go of my hair.
Yeah.
She pulled it and went back. And I always used to say, it's like the slap from like Newark to Patterson.
Yeah.
You just come all the way back, and you're just like, and all we heard was crack. And then it led right into the KOD.
She beat her like a mom who caught you doing something you shouldn't have been doing.
Climbing the wall. Like, Mom,
what you doing?
Like she got beat like you're supposed to be in the house at 9:00, not 9:01.
Yeah.
And you tried to sneak in. She got that that Pops from Kid and Play ass whooping that was through the credit from House Party. Just all you heard was cacao.
Oh my! It was, and what I like about it is Sasha's selling is good, as far as like a ragdoll, but her facials. When Bianca pulled the hair, you could see like Sasha turn from it and then look into her hands like, oh shit, I don't have it anymore. And then she turned around and tried to run and got whipped.
And she did the full jump up and down thing. And then got caught with the KOD.
I told her that KOD was going to be beautiful. Did I not?
And it was, and the KOD was beautiful.
Yeah, I like the fact that she didn't wait either. She like got her in and then just directly like went into it.
I'll let Michael Cole slide. He said Sasha kicked out.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have that.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't hear that.
They need to edit that out. Like they need to edit that out.
I mean, we also had Mike Rome who said that the Riot Squad got eliminated when it was Carmella.
When it was Dana and
I'm sorry, Dana and
yeah.
So they were just not having a good night.
Now, I gotta let Jess say this. Jess, what were the first words out of Bianca's mouth the minute she won?
Mama.
She was looking for her mom.
Yeah.
And I started crying so hard. I was like, where's her mom? Like, I knew they were there. I was like, where are the parents? Show them on the screen. And I know you guys didn't get the whole Montez slide like we did.
No, we didn't, yeah.
Oh, he came running down the ramp. I thought it was a fan. Like, that's how fast. Like, I was like, oh, shit. And he came running, and he slid in the ring, and I was like, oh, my God. And he put her up on his shoulders, paraded her, and he almost dropped her.
He was crying. And
he loves that woman.
Oh, yeah.
He loves that one.
Oh, my God. I love them. I love them so much.
I kind of wish they showed it, but then I kind of was like, okay, he wanted to give her her moment with the cameras on, just her, because, although he was been her support, she was the one that did the work to get where she is. But I love the fact that somebody recorded it and we got to see that. That man.
It was part of the video package for night 2.
Yeah, it was part of the
video.
They showed the opening. Yeah. But they have to be, we've been talking about this, they have to be filming since the Rumble a Bianca and a Rhea doc. Like, there has to be documentaries being filmed.
Yeah.
Because they have also footage backstage of her and Montez after she came back, of them hugging and crying with the belt and everything. Yeah. And same with Rhea. I've seen some of the same things. So they have this footage. We've got to be getting something for each of those women.
I want to see the reaction because I know Mickie James was doing the after show and she said that the girls are waiting in, outside of Gorilla for Bianca to come out. I want to see that footage. That's what I want to see. I want to see that.
I want to see the Sasha Bianca hug. I want to see the Naomi
I want to see Rhea and Bianca hug because those girls have been since NXT together. And now they're together. Running the women's division now, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see when someone had said that they were upset that that Sasha Banks was smiling after the match or whatever?
Yeah.
It was like, you just let it be what it is, and that's the problem.
Dude, this was a historic moment, and Sasha Banks, one of the 4 horsewomen, just passed the torch to another Black woman.
Exactly.
Shut up. Let her smile. Let her sit there and cry. Let them have this moment. It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's never been about you.
Not about you and kayfabe. It's okay.
And Sasha is a giver to the business. So to see her.
She's 0-6 at Mania.
0-6.
0-6.
Every single match. But you know what? That's why I say I compare her to Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels has the shittiest WrestleMania record.
Terrible record.
Isn't he Mr. Mania, though?
He is Mr. WrestleMania when it comes down to it. He puts on some of the best matches on the card. You may be like, yo, Shawn Michaels lost, but damn, did he put on a great ass match?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Sasha Banks is in that same level. And when she finally gets her Mania win, I'm going to be very happy for her. You know what? Sasha, at this point, I know her. She would take L's at every WrestleMania if it was for the right reason.
Yeah. But this only made Sasha look 10 times better, though. And that's why I truly don't mind her taking the L on this.
I don't.
Because what it does is it makes you look back at every match that Sasha has been in. It makes you look at every match Becky, Charlotte, Bayley have been in. Sasha was the one that got me to believe in Ruby Riott, because I wasn't a Ruby Riott fan until she did one-on-one with Sasha, and I was like, okay, I get Ruby Riott now. Sasha brings out the best in everyone, and she said that on Stone Cold's podcast. She even said that, I feel like I know my worth because I bring out the best in everyone I step in that ring with.
Agreed.
And Sasha did not lie. We know what Bianca's capable of. We've seen her take over with Shayna Baszler. We've seen Bianca take on Rhea. I don't really like her match with Charlotte because she got buried in that, or her interaction with Charlotte. Yeah, I didn't like that. I hate that match. Like, it made her look so weak. Even if, like, I felt like it should have been back and forth, but whatever. But my point is, Bianca has proven herself to be a star, and I feel like at this point, if you're doubting her star, you can not be a fan of somebody, but if you're doubting her ability to be the next big female star in WWE, then I don't know what else she can possibly do, because she literally gorilla pressed a woman, walked her to the ring, up the steel stairs, and tossed her in there like she was a bag of trash.
Bianca's been busting her ass.
Bianca carried Otis. Can we talk about that?
Yes.
And then crossed up Bayley, which is one of my favorite things.
that was hard. Yeah.
It was like, yo, she crossed up Bayley and made her fall.
I just can't believe that we got, I feel like I don't want to say the fan favorites, but all three of us were very happy. I feel like with the outcome.
Yeah, this was our WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We were all in the main event.
You were happy for Sasha.
I was happy for Sasha to lose.
Yeah. I got my Rhea Ripley.
I got my Bianca.
I cried the minute the match was over.
Yeah.
I said, this is why I love it so much.
Yeah. The feeling you got makes you that this is what it's about. This is what WrestleMania is for. This is what wrestling is about. And even going back to the Royal Rumble, when she won the Royal Rumble, I don't think I've ever had a moment to where besides Naomi winning her first championship, but I don't think I've ever had a moment where I really felt like my heart was full of joy. And I didn't think they could be topped in the Royal Rumble, but the feeling I got when I heard and new SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair, I don't think there's nothing like that feeling. And if it felt like this inside of me, I can only imagine what it feels like to be Bianca, to be Rhea, to be Raquel. I can only imagine.
To be Jess and be caught on Peacock screaming at the top of her lungs.
Well, that's the thing is, like, this was my first live show. Like, I found wrestling through COVID, and like, I didn't get to go to anything. And like, when we got our tickets to Mania, Rhea was not on the card at all.
Wow.
We bought pre-sale, so like, I totally relate to what you're saying about the Rumble when Rhea walked out, because it was rumored New Year's Evil was obviously a send-off, like. They wouldn't have done it that way if it wasn't. But nothing was like set in stone. And when I was so mad the way that she came out, after Charlotte, or Charlotte came out right after her?
Charlotte came out
right
after.
Yeah, and I was like, but when her music hit, and like, I know Rhea's music so well, all I need to hear is the, and I know, like, I knew. And Wade actually recorded it. And like, I had such joy when she came out in the Rumble. I was sobbing. And then when she pointed at the sign on her debut, I fell to the floor because we had Mania tickets, and I got it. I got my moment. I'm gonna see Rhea Ripley. And then during the match, I completely tuned him out. I was there.
He wasn't even there.
The minute, and he recorded a bunch of stuff with me, and it's so funny. But the minute Ash Costello started singing, I was standing and I was just in it, and I was singing the song, and it was me and Rhea Ripley. And then the whole match, I was like, she's not going to win. She's having too much offense. They're going to give it to Asuka. Why would they give it to Rhea? I'm like, I'm getting really mad and stuff. Yeah. And then, like I said, when they set up for the Riptide, I started hyperventilating because I knew. And we got it on camera. I had to pull my mask down. I couldn't breathe. I was just sobbing. The joy. I was like, I'm here. I'm here for this. I get it. I get it. Live shows. I understand wrestling now. I feel like I'm a diehard. Like this changed everything for me.
But that's what it's supposed to feel like. And I think that wrestling fans have forgotten that it's less about what happens and more about how it makes you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
And I feel like this WrestleMania was a perfect example of how wrestling is supposed to make you feel, win or lose. You know, I was upset about the whole Tamina situation, but I can't forget the feeling that I have had with, you know, Tamina getting, you know, a chant with, you know, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair in the ring about to cry before the match. The feeling when I saw her set her up for the KOD, the 1, 2, 3, and new. Those feelings are feelings that we will never forget. And I feel like I have to say this probably was my favorite WrestleMania moment, was my favorite, you know, winning.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's it. We all basically got our stars in a proper position.
Yeah.
And I cannot honestly wait for what happens with all three of them. Actually, you know what? Let's say it. All 4 women who were in the 2 big matches at WrestleMania for the females. I cannot wait to see what happens with Asuka.
Can we say all 6 actually? Because Io and Raquel.
Io and Raquel deserve.
Let's talk about the other main event because Io is probably going up to the main roster.
Yeah, Io is probably on her way up.
That's probably a send up. So
which I'm fine with.
I hope it's SmackDown because I don't think we need another Rhea Io right off the rip.
And I don't need her. I don't need you. I'm one of those people in the minority who don't want Io and Asuka on the same brand. I don't.
No, I don't.
Vince's racist ass is gonna be like, "Oh, hi,
make me too."
You and Asuka, you're now a tag team.
Yeah, you and Asuka are now tag team.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
You are now called the Sky Empresses. There you go.
Yep, there you go.
You are now a tag team, and you are established, and you will come out to some bad Asian music that we will
terrible
put together. Listen, I legit am happy for, as an NXT fan, Rhea and Bianca. They have just grown in front of our eyes in this time frame. And they both are now the leaders of the new division. See,
it's the future.
It's the future. Jess is now, this is her moment with these two. It's like we had the horsewomen. So we were like, give them everything. They deserve it. They're busting their asses. They're putting on classic matches. This is now your time to be like, Bianca and Rhea are the ones to start it off. Who else is going to be next with them to follow up?
Yeah.
I
get so emotional thinking about these women. Like, these 2 women are so strong. And, like, just the fact that they both walked out with belts. It's like, I know Bianca's, 30, but that's still so young to me.
She's young.
And she presents so young that I forget she's a little older than, like, even Sasha. She's older than Sasha. But, like, to me, like, these 2 women, they're so youthful and they are the future. And they look like what the WWE fan base is starting to slowly turn into. And I feel like they reflect the fans. And I love interviews with Rhea and Ruby because, like, women with tattoos were never allowed to be, you know, stars. Lita was like the first,
Luna.
right? And like Ruby was like the first covered girl with tattoos. And now even when Rhea started, she wasn't allowed to get visible tattoos. And now
WWE has to improve your tattoos and stuff like that before you can get them.
And for me, like I mean, I have tattoos. I have like a whole sleeve, and I couldn't find a wrestler I related to until I saw Rhea in the Rumble. Like, and I was showing
that's
Rhea.
A good point because I think that we're underestimating the relatability factor. And I think that's why so many people can connect with Rhea, because there's no one who looks like Rhea. There's no one, you know, who is like Bianca, you know, and I think that we kind of forget that everybody has a favorite, even, you know, going to men's wrestling, Jinder Mahal. There are plenty of Indian fans out there who don't have someone to look up to. And I feel like that's what WWE needs to become. It needs to become a reflection of the world. World Wrestling Federation. And I feel like we're kind of getting into that point with wrestling, like you said, where it's starting to reflect our fan base. And I'm so glad we're finally getting to see that it does not have to be blonde white women leading the charge with everything, because
typical pretty blonde white women, because Rhea's blonde white. And I said that to Wade. I'm like, she's not the typical like pretty diva. So that's why, and neither is Raquel, and neither is, I mean, maybe Bianca. Like, they're all gorgeous, but we have
not by WWE standards. If you're not,
they don't have boob jobs and they're not wearing lingerie. Like, I'm sorry, Rhea wears pants. Bianca wears pants. Raquel wears pants.
They all
wear
pants.
Holy shit.
Everybody wears pants.
But we have a Hispanic champ in NXT now. We have a black women's champion for SmackDown, and we have a tattooed goth woman champion. Australian white. Well, she's white, but like
so crazy.
That would have never happened 10, 15 years ago.
No.
I would have never liked wrestling.
And we have a black and Filipino tag team champions in NXT.
Yes.
We have a Samoan and what's
Chinese. Shayna Baszler is Chinese.
Okay.
Chinese.
Yeah.
The diversity in the women's division. But then you look at the men's and it's like, we got Bobby Lashley and Roman.
We got Bobby Lashley, Roman, and Apollo.
We're just now getting this diversity though. Like it wasn't always here. And I love the fact that the women's division is really true. Like women will lead the charge, and they're doing that in diversity and opportunities, things like that. They are truly, I guess the pioneers for change in wrestling. Yep. And I think that's kind of why we all relate on this level, and why we started this podcast is to kind of convey our feelings of how we feel like women's wrestling is revolutionary now. For sure. But this has been a great episode. I cannot wait for us to dive into more women's wrestling topics. Before we get out of here, Wade, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Wade Olsen. You can find me on Instagram at WadeOlsen_. I also have a TikTok I like to use every now and then where I post where I try to insult our dog, but she is an amazing dog. We named her after the Raw Women's Champion, current Raw Women's Champion.
This one, sorry, wrong side. We also bought her the Raw Championship collar, belt, and bowl last night.
So that's dope.
We have gone full out for the dog.
Yeah.
Cool. And where can we find you at, Jess?
So I'm at Beetlejuice on Twitter. I love Beetlejuice a lot. On Instagram, I'm at Beetlejuice85. I do not do TikTok. Please don't look for me on there. And I'm one half of like a horror podcast if you're into that, the Scream Queens. So
cool. All the links will be down below in the description if you are watching on YouTube. I think there's a place for us to put the links on Anchor. I'll make sure everybody's links are there so you can keep up to date with everybody. With that being said, don't forget to, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter at AvatarRAJ. With that being said, don't forget to like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Check us out on all social media platforms at WCW The Podcast. With that being said, can't wait to get back with you guys again and have some more amazing discussions concerning women's wrestling. I hope everyone has a great evening. Later days.